Welcome to Noel Coward's presentation of, looks like a stage set. Are we ready? We're all friends here. Good afternoon, IIDA members and special guests. I'm Cheryl Durst, the Executive Vice President and CEO of IIDA, and I am very honored and personally kind of thrilled to welcome everyone to the 22nd annual meeting of the International Interior Design Association. All right, so here's the thing. You, along with IIDA members who are participating via live stream this afternoon, represent 58 countries and over 15,000 members. Thanks so much to each of you in the audience and those of you at home and abroad, always wanted to say that, for joining us. So you'll notice a little something different about the annual meeting. We don't have our empty, naked, cavernous stage, and we have Vitra to thank for that. Please welcome Adrian Parra, Director of Marketing at Vitra.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Adrian Parra. I'm Vitra's Director of Marketing for North America. And on behalf of Vitra, we are thrilled to be here today to help IIDA celebrate another successful year at the 2016 annual meeting. This year marks the beginning of the Vitra IIDA partnership, which was founded with a mutual goal of supporting and elevating the interior design profession. Through this partnership, Vitra plans to underwrite programming, events, and competitions that will provide designers with valuable resources and opportunities. And we're already off to a phenomenal start. Okay, so in addition to sponsoring the VIP reception following today's annual meeting, Vitra is proud to be hosting the first ever IIDA Booth Design Competition at Orgatech 2016, a design competition that gave students the opportunity to create a trade show booth and gain exposure by having their design concept executed at the Orgatech Trade Fair. Next slide, please. And I'm happy to announce that the winner of that competition is IIDA student member Kelsey Ballast, who has received a trip. She's getting a trip to Orgatech in Cologne, Germany, where she will join us in October. She will also have the chance to participate in our Friends of Vitra program, which provides designers the opportunity to visit our corporate headquarters in Biersfeld, Switzerland, and our factory campus in Weil am Rhein, Germany, both of which are right outside Basel in Switzerland. We can't wait to host Kelsey, and we extend her a hearty congratulations. Not many of you, but maybe some of you are probably wondering, who the heck is Vitra? Why all this Vitra? Well, we describe Vitra as a project with both a commercial and a cultural side. Our cultural activities, the campus and its architecture, the Vitra Design Museum and its collection extend beyond the realm of the furniture business. The Vitra Factory Campus isn't just any manufacturing facility. It's an architectural wonderland featuring works by some of the most significant architects of our time, including Sanaa, Frank Gehry, Jean Prouvé, Alvaro Siza, and Tadeo Ando. The Vitra Fire Station, which you see over there on the left, it's Zaha Hadid's first ever realized construction. So picture this, she was toiling away on behalf of other architects for decades, and her own ideas only existed on paper and in her paintings. I had the chance to visit this fire station the day before she passed away, and I can tell you that the concepts embodied in this small building are truly mind-blowing. It was almost as if the floodgates have been lifted, and it's just a torrent of ideas there in that small building. The newest addition to the Vitra Campus and Design Museum is the Schau Depot, which is this one right here. It's kind of monastic looking. It's designed by Herzog and de Meuron, and it actually opened 2 weeks ago. Next slide, please. So the Schau Depot is part of the Vitra Design Museum. The collection at the Vitra Design Museum ranks among the most important holdings of furniture design worldwide. It contains some 7,000 pieces of furniture, a vast assemblage of lighting objects, and numerous design archives, like the design archive of Mexican architect Luis Barragan. To date, the museum's collection has never been on permanent display. Next slide, please. The centerpiece of the Schau Depot is a permanent exhibition of more than 400 key pieces of modern furniture from 1800, the year 1800 to the present. So if you ever have the chance to visit Basel, Switzerland, we would love to host you as our guest on the Vitra campus. So at the end of this presentation, at the end of the meeting, don't forget to pick up a swag bag during the reception. If you find a Vitra textile sample hidden somewhere in your bag, then you're the winner of our exhibition catalog for the show. Project Vitra, it's a touring exhibition which was exhibited at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. We regularly tour exhibitions around the country. To redeem your catalog, visit us in booth 1192. And I want to thank IIDA, Cheryl and Hunter for their great interpretation of the Vitra collage for living up here, which has some nice Belleville pieces, some pieces by Alvar Aalto for Artec, which was acquired by Vitra a couple of years ago, and some new burlap pieces. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adrian, and thank you, Vitra, for your generous support. And awesome Michigan chapter and Tara McCracken. I believe Kelsey is your student, right? Yay! So honestly, if you get a shout out or I ask you a question from the stage, this is the least tight-ass annual meeting you will ever go to. So feel free to respond. So we have this beautiful Vitra furniture, but the butts in the seats of the Vitra furniture, in case you're wondering who the people are who paid the upcharge to get these great seats. This is the incoming and outgoing International Board of Directors and our Foundation Board of Trustees. All right, now those of you who are veterans, this is Richard Pollock's favorite part. Those of you who are veterans of this meeting, you know that I make an annual promise to you to keep things energized, relatively entertaining, slightly corny, a little bit nerdy, and very fast-paced, right? We're all just getting ready for NeoCon, and we all either have shopping to do or showrooms to get back to. In exchange, I would love to ask everyone to please silence any cell phones, gadgets, devices, whatever you have that buzzes, beeps, or plays a tune. Turn that stuff off. Anything that's going to interrupt us. And for those of you who are live streaming, you can make all the noise, who are joining us via live stream, you can make all the noise you want. All right, you guys know what to expect, but here's the deal. Shortly, you are going to hear from our outgoing international president, Scott Herlinger. This sounds so serious. In his final presidential address. Just so that you in the audience know, I have a box of Kleenex. Because there are tears at the annual meeting, unlike baseball. You also will hear important association business that has been conducted over the past year. We're going to celebrate some success. We're going to recognize some exceptional members of the association, of the profession, and the design community. It is live. Well, but you were still talking. Well, can you turn that down? Because that's ever so distracting. Lord, gee, I don't know that we'll ever have you up here again. There's always one. And we will also induct our new International Board of Directors. That's what you interrupted, Jim. So on behalf of said International Board of Directors, I want to offer a very special welcome to all of our members, corporate members, friends, family, and guests. In the audience, we have representatives from the many organizations that support design excellence. We've got members from CIDA. If you're here and you represent those organizations, can you please stand? CIDA, CIDQ, IDEC, I know Majette is here. Hey, Pamela Evans. IDC, Trevor Cruz is here, I know. Tom Banks from CIDQ. AAHID, AIA, BIFMA, Tom Reardon, I'm pretty sure you're here. And also from the Wellbeing Lab, the Mayo Clinic, Rochester, and Delos, I believe Donna is here. Hi, Donna. Welcome, special guests. I would also like to acknowledge and recognize the leaders of the association. So many of you know that IIDA was created when 3 organizations merged in 1994. We'd like to recognize the leaders who served in our predecessor organizations. If anyone who was a leader or an officer in IBD, CFID, or ISID, if you are in the audience, would you please stand? Any predecessor leaders? Oh, they're all watching on television, okay. Would the past international presidents of IIDA, as well as any past international board members in the audience today, please stand? Thanks so much to each of you for all that you have done for the organization and all that you continue to do to support us. We'd also like to recognize the members of the IIDA College of Fellows that are here with us today. Please stand, members of the College of Fellows. And our chapter leaders, our CLC, our Chapter Leadership Council, presidents, presidents-elect, and chapter board members. Please stand. So for this group, thank you for the leadership that you provide for our chapters, for the hours that you spend in meetings, serving on committees, and putting your firm's miscellaneous billing code to use for IIDA. That is greatly appreciated. And will the IIDA headquarters staff please stand? Thank you all so much for the support that you give to our members, to me, and to just about anybody else, because you are just that kind of group of people. I want to especially acknowledge Ellie Alanis, who many of you know as Ellie Padilla. Some of you, if you remember long ago, when Ellie was our receptionist, she's now our Director of Continuing Education, and Dennis Krause, who I know many of you know. Both Ellie and Dennis are celebrating this year their 20th anniversary with IIDA. If you are related to Cheryl Durst, would you please stand? So Troy Durst, my husband, and Annabelle Durst, who many of you who are my Facebook friends know as the Cranky Princess. Annabelle is working Neocon with Contract Magazine, so thank you to my family. Gabe Durst is God knows where, but thank you to my family who know IIDA about as well as any member. Thank you. All right, so each of you should have received a gift when you came in. Did you all receive an iDesign pin? Excellent. So that is, every year we like to give the attendees of the annual meeting something that is just a reminder of this profession. And my grandmother would always say, know who you are and know what you do. So each of you have a pin that says proudly, what? Amen. Know who you are and know what you do. I was thinking, and I usually at this point have some kind of statement about what's going on at the association, and we're really excited about a lot of new initiatives where we are capturing numbers and metrics and talking about the depth and breadth of this profession, and we've got content galore. I'm beginning to think that #thrilled will be the word for the annual meeting, or if we were allowed beverages in here, it would be the drinking game, so every time you hear the word thrilled, mentally take a shot. But this notion that in this world that we live in, full of breaking news and people who want to break the internet, how do you captivate people in a cycle like this? How do you capture their attention? And that elusive word that we all know and hear, and you're going to be hearing it during NeoCon, how do you engage people? And we've almost moved beyond. It's really easy for us to ignore breaking news because everything is breaking news. And everything, it feels like, is an OMG moment. And I think we really are in this moment where we not only need to captivate people, we need to enchant them. And as human beings, we love to be enchanted. It's a little bit like falling in love a little bit with something or some moment. Organizations increasingly need to know how to enchant. And it's an emotional connection, it's a deeply human connection, it speaks to the humanity in us all. So how do we do that? We know that one of the requirements of enchantment is a really high EQ, a really high level of emotional intelligence. If you ask the board of directors of the Society for Human Resources was that somebody's phone? I know my hearing's not going now. If you ask someone who is a professional HR manager what the top 3 qualities that they're looking at in hiring in the next 3 years, emotional intelligence is at the top of the list. That ability to connect, to literally put yourself in someone else's shoes, and to be empathetic, number 1. Number 2, agility. That ability to pivot, to move, but also to be intellectually agile. And resilience. We in North America are simply known for our resilience, that ability to bounce back no matter what knocks us down. It's one of the qualities of knowing what people are made of is not necessarily how they handle something, but how they bounce back from whatever knocks us down. Fall down 6 times, get up 7, right? That's all about enchantment. And I think a piece of enchantment is also curiosity. And I don't need to tell designers that because, oh my God, you all were born nosy. Take it from one who is naturally nosy, although you know my line, I call it field research. You listen, you interpret, you articulate, and then you make things real. The people outside of this room, the people who don't have the benefit of a design education, know that you interpret dreams. And interpreting dreams is absolutely enchanting. And it's what makes this profession so amazing, so desirable, so goddamn confusing, Oh, Lord, I said goddamn on a Sunday. I'm so sorry. It makes people want to know you. It makes people want to be you. And it makes IIDA want to celebrate you. And that's what today is all about. Celebrating design, celebrating our members, and celebrating the wonderful people on this stage. So thank you all. Are you ready? All right. Enchantment. We all need a little bit more of that in our lives. All right. Now, let's move from iDesign. So part of what I get to do as the CEO of IIDA is spend a year with a pretty phenomenal person. Carol Jones, Richard Pollack, Carrie Johnson, Louis Getz, John Mack, John Lejeski. I'm not going to name them all. I certainly hope I named all the ones who are in this room because I'm mortally offended. And it's not just business. There's a heck of a lot of pleasure, and there's some amazing conversations, and we consider this association, we consider the world of design, and there's cage fighting. And there's a lot of time behind a podium. There are professional moments, and there are amazing personal moments. And I was very honored to be a part of Scott's marriage to his partner, Mike Moore. That's Scott and Mike jumping out of a something, celebrating, large vehicle. And it was August outside of Minneapolis, and it was hella hot, and it was humid. And oh my God, have you all ever seen the mosquitoes up north?
Big.
It's the state bird. We had a wonderful year, some great laughs, some great conversations. Let's bring up that next slide.
Love that.
So thank you, Texas, Oklahoma chapter, for introducing me to Bitmojis. So that's my mic drop for Scott, and Scott's amen and shout out for the end of his year. And a phrase that Scott would start a conversation with, start a board meeting with, when we would have something tough to say or do. This is how it's going to go down. And then Scott would proceed to tell us how it's going to go down. So please join me in welcoming IIDA outgoing president, Scott Herlinger, for his final presidential address.
Wow. I did say that a lot. I did. Good afternoon, IIDA. To begin, I would like to take a moment to welcome all of our current IIDA membership, my fellow Nelson teammates, Mike, and the many enthusiastic IIDA supporters and close friends in the audience today. I would also like to pay a special welcome to the many esteemed existing and new IIDA fellows who are with us, who have joined us online, and welcome to the 2016 IIDA Annual Meeting. Again, I'm Scott Herlinger, the now soon-to-be outgoing president of the 2015-2016 Board of Directors for the International Interior Design Association. I would like to personally welcome back and thank all of our returning board membership, and also give a special welcome to our new board members, Primo Urpia, Julio Braga, Gabrielle Bullock, and Susanna Corvurubias. I knew I wouldn't say it right. I told you I wouldn't. I'd also like to take a moment and truly thank Cheryl Durst, Dennis Kraus, Elizabeth Cooley, Lisa Toth, Aisha Williams, Karen, Ben, Anastasia, and all the many other dedicated IIDA HQ staff members for all of their diligent work and constant support that has truly made for an astounding and successful year. And if I didn't mention your name, I still love you. As I transition to immediate past president and vice president of the 2016-2017 board, I am looking forward to another great year as we continually expand, unify, and elevate the practice of interior design. I could not be more proud, completely honored, and thrilled to have taken on the role of president of IIDA, the association for the commercial interior design industry. A year ago, when I stood on this exact spot and accepted this position, I made mention of a few initiatives that I believe to be important in the success of IIDA in 2016 and going forward. I promised to advocate for the advancement in education, legislation, design excellence, leadership, accreditation, and community outreach that truly increase the value and understanding of interior design as a profession. As I look back and IIDA moves forward, I would like to highlight a few of the positive steps IIDA made over the past year. IIDA continues to work to increase our visibility internationally. Through our continued design partnerships and notable design competitions, we have increased our influence and geographical reach. We are truly starting to see the importance of responsibility of the first I in IIDA. I know that our greatest growth as an organization and potential opportunity for increased sharing of knowledge and collaboration is with our international friends, where much good work has been established. We continue to nurture our partnership with the three renowned Italian associations, ADI, OAPPC, and CNAPPC. This mutual beneficial relationship has allowed for an increased cultural exchange of information between the organizations in areas such as design and planning, project management, and project financing. We continue to engage our friends at SBID, the Society of British Interior Designers, and look for more increased interaction in the coming years. There's also a new and renewed interest from the Chinese and also the Russian federations. Good luck, Marlene. Finding a meaningful partnership in IIDA. In discussing these examples of our increasing international connectivity, we begin to see the growth potential for IIDA and are looking for new ways to not only grow our domestic, but also our international membership. Looking closer to home, we have made many positive steps over the past year in regards to our chapters and students. We continue to adjust our existing offerings and policies to better serve the diverse needs of the chapters and provide them with the autonomy to grow and succeed. For students, we have witnessed the rewards of our increased focus and funding related to student growth, connectivity, and advancement, and will continue to provide the necessary funding and attention required to grow and educate our next generation of IIDA membership. Our legislative actions continue to evolve as we negotiate the ever-changing landscape of politics across the country. IIDA held its inaugural Advocacy Symposium in Austin this past September with rave reviews. The second annual symposium will be held in Denver this fall. IIDA has and will continue to focus on and provide the required focus, financial scrutiny, nimble reactivity to best provide IIDA members with the greatest amount of support to advance their careers and profession. Lastly, I am personally very excited to witness the next stage of IIDA as we move to our new headquarters. Our new space will be designed by Contract Magazine's Designer of the Year, Todd Heiser, IIDA, and will continue to highlight the value of commercial interior design. Stay tuned on the progress of the new site throughout 2016. So now, before I hand over the reins to our exceedingly competent and ever-wise new president, Marlene Liriano, I'd like to voice my appreciation to all I have interacted with over this past year. It has been an honor to meet and work with every one of you. I've enjoyed every leaders breakfast, chapter awards gala, retreat, annual meeting, advocacy symposium, or any other meeting I took part in, and I look forward to more interaction in the future. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you today and for this past year, and have a wonderful NeoCon.
All right, score one for Scott. Did not have to pull out the box of Kleenex.
I'm German.
That's right, you are German. Each year, we have the honor and privilege of publicly thanking and acknowledging various members and friends of IIDA, as well as luminaries in the field of design for their achievements in various segments of our profession. This year's honorees are a premier group whose accolades are very well deserved. Recipients, when your name is announced, please come to the podium to accept your award. Duh. We gotta get rid of that line, because it's like, what else are you gonna do? Audience, feel free to clap and cheer wildly. You're up.
All right. So, our first award of the afternoon is the IIDA Titan Award, which recognizes outstanding service and contributions to the interior design profession by a design-related individual, company, or organization. This year's award is proudly presented to Dorothy Casonas. Dorothy, please join us on stage. Dorothy is a visionary in textiles, known for her impeccable style and trend-setting collections. Her work not only inspires her peers, but also deeply influences how spaces are experienced. In 2005, Dorothy was named the 11th Creative Director of Knoll Textiles. Her inaugural collection won a Best of Neocon Gold Award for her first of 7. In 2008, she founded Knoll Luxe as the fashion-forward luxury component of Knoll Textiles. Recognizing her influence on the industry, 7 fabrics created by Dorothy or under her direction at Knoll Textiles were selected for the permanent collection at the Cooper Hewitt National Design Museum. In addition, her work was a major part of Knoll Textiles' 2011 retrospective exhibition at the Bard Graduate Center. Dorothy, who holds degrees in fine art and textile design from the Fashion Institute of Technology, began her career working under Sina Pearson at the upholstery and wall covering manufacturer Unicavev. Her experience as Sina's apprentice inspires her to discover and nurture young design talent, ensuring that she will leave a lasting legacy on the industry. We are so pleased to honor Dorothy as this year's recipient of IIDA's Titan Award. Please join me in congratulating Dorothy.
We just need you to move to the middle to accept the award for the fight. Perfect. It is all you.
Hi, everyone. Well, lots of people. I want to thank the International Board of Directors, Cheryl, Scott, Dennis Krause. To be honest, when I first got the email from Dennis that he wanted to speak to me, I had 2 thoughts. I wondered if they needed Knoll fabric for an event, or secondly, if it was a reminder that we owed money for past dues. Never in a million years did I imagine I would get this award. When it was announced, I received many kind notes, flowers, champagne, and especially chocolates. Dangerous stuff when you have a wardrobe to consider. These were all unexpected, but greatly appreciated. And as designers, we don't get someplace without a great deal of help, a great deal of work, and also a great deal of luck. Not dumb luck, but as Robert Evans said it best, luck is opportunity that meets preparation. From being a student at FIT in New York, to Unicavev Textiles, to now being at Knoll, I have tried to work hard and learn every day. I also knew I had to be as good, if not better, than the design standards before me. So I am nervous each time I have to start again on a fabric collection. But with nerves aside, I try to aspire to create products that speak for themselves, that are appropriate for the market needs, and that I hope are simply beautiful. I also strive each time to expand the wonderful language of modern design. And I try to reinvent myself with each new collection, always keeping in mind that it has to appeal to the entire country in color, texture, and pattern. Living in New York, you sometimes get the impression that what happens there is also true for the rest of the country. So when I'm deciding upon final colors for a collection, I remember what Bill Blass said about fashion and taste, and that wealthy women outside of New York don't always wear black. So in the world, there is so much choice, and I truly appreciate it when designers specify my work. I still get excited to see the product out in the field and in applications never imagined. I also want to say something to the students and young designers who are here today. Your opportunity is being at a firm, working for a mentor, and that doing almost anything in a design environment is important. On my first day at Unicavev, I was asked to vacuum the showroom. As much as I hated it at the time, I was moving among classic Scandinavian design, most likely bumping into Alto or a Kierholm leg along the way, and one can only guess the market left literally and figuratively. I also want to thank all my team members who have helped me, and especially a sincere thanks to my current team at the big machine called Knoll. Knoll's legacy is something that we together have to live up to day in and day out. And they're here today, and I would ask them to please stand and be recognized. I also need to thank my husband of 20 years, which we just celebrated our 20th anniversary on June 1st. The wonderful and very talented furniture designer, Tim DeFibre. When I started at Knoll, working many late nights and on the weekends definitely became the norm. And Tim has always been incredibly kind, supportive, and patient. He's the love of my life, and I am a very lucky girl. So finally, one last thought. A year before I started at Knoll, I briefly met Florence Knoll at the Unicavev booth at ICFF in New York that Tim had actually designed. And all she said was, "You do nice work." Short and sweet. So it was an honor to be recognized then by Florence, and it is especially nice, and I am very honored that you feel the same. Thank you.
That was absolutely lovely. Congratulations. Dorothy, that was simply beautiful. And I'm only wealthy when it comes to books, unnecessary bags, and good friends, but on Tuesdays I wear pink, and Sundays. A lot of people didn't recognize me because I wasn't wearing black today, so it's kind of fun not to. All right, next award is our Star Award. The IIDA Star Award was created in 1995 to publicly and professionally recognize and celebrate the contributions that have significantly impacted the interior design industry by either an organization or an individual. Phil Freelon is widely regarded as one of the top architects in the US. His current work as the design lead for the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture in Washington, D.C., to the Museum of the African Diaspora in San Francisco, he has elevated the profession by enhancing public buildings that all people have the opportunity to experience and enjoy. He is an inspiration to the next generation of African American architects, and I'm not just going to qualify that with a hyphenated word, to all architects, expanding opportunities for diversity in the profession. Phil is the managing and design director of Perkins & Will's North Carolina offices in Research Triangle Park in Charlotte. He is a, woohoo, Carolinas. He is a key member of the firm's leadership team, as well as a member of the board of directors. In addition to his current work on the $500 million Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture, which is now under construction on the National Mall. His design portfolio includes the National Center for Civil Rights in Atlanta, Emancipation Park in Houston, multiple library projects for the DC Public Library System, and the Durham County Human Services Complex. He is a President Obama appointee to the National Commission of Fine Arts, a Fellow of the AIA, and a recipient of the Thomas Jefferson Award for Public Architecture. I do believe that Phil could be our next Supreme Court Justice. And if I get a vote, he will be our next James Bond. We are so pleased to honor and celebrate Phil as this year's Star Award recipient. Will you please join us on stage? So we need to move to the middle.
Okay.
I get a photo op with Phil Freeland. This is yours. You want to hold it? Here, we'll both hold it. Did everybody get that? All right, so did people get pictures of this? I have a little bit of a crush on Phil Freeland, I'm just saying. Phil, congratulations, and please share with us some words of your phenomenal wisdom. I'm just messing with you now.
Thank you, Cheryl. I don't know quite what to say. Maybe James Bond would be the next step. I don't know. That sounds great. I also want to thank the board and the staff. It's been a great honor to be recognized in this way. And when I looked at the prior recipients, I could only be humbled by being selected to be among that really august group. And, you know, when I was asked to say a few words, I was glad they asked me to show some work as well, because I'm always more comfortable talking to a group when I can talk about pictures and words. So let's just look at some of the work. And as I do this, I want to recognize the team. As we all know, this kind of work can't be done individually, even though some of us get recognized as individuals. There's always a team behind it. And my colleagues at Perkins and Will and the Freelon Group, some of whom are here, I want to thank them for the support and teamwork that goes into all of this. And, you know, I'll start by talking about a few projects, and this one was mentioned, the Museum of the African Diaspora. It's a large idea in a very small package. It's 20,000 square feet, and one of the things we try and do is express the mission and the vision of the institution through the architecture, not simply have a wrapper around exhibits. And so here, the story is actually starting to be told by the African girl's face and extending out into the thoroughfare and inviting people to come in. And then as you get closer, you notice that the stories are actually depicted in individual photographs. As always, there's a close collaboration with graphic design, exhibit design, so that it's a seamless process. In Greensboro, North Carolina, the International Civil Rights Center and Museum is built around a theme of the sit-ins in the 1960s. And the artifact is the building itself and the lunch counter, which is the culmination of the exhibit, where you actually come and can see where this happened, an integration of technology and interaction with stories that are recreated on the screens, and just a terrific opportunity, again, to tell a story and have the architecture be an important part of it in the interiors. In Charlotte, the Gantt Center, and if the name Harvey Gantt sounds familiar, he's an architect, but also a two-time mayor of that city. And that green area you see in the aerial is the African-American neighborhood that sadly, and this is a recurring story, was displaced by urban renewal. And so part of our desire here was to commemorate what was there in the past and to take this notion of stitching and weaving and tapestry and making something out of nothing and carrying that through to the interior where the folding planes of the ceiling continue. And on a site that was a leftover piece of land, 55 feet by 400 feet, we have an interior where you would not know that you're in such a long, narrow building when you step into the galleries. In Atlanta, the National Centers for Civil and Human Rights, once again, we build from a theme. What is the idea? Well, here the interlocking arms and that iconic notion of standing together, unified across different age groups and genders and races for a common cause. And so the building is looking to caress the content in a similar way, and creating a transition from a site that drops 20 feet across it. And once again, bringing out the exhibits into the landscape and into the public areas as opposed to creating these thresholds. And so that, again, the integration of architecture and interiors and exhibits is something we strive for, and getting a notion of where you are inside of the building by remembering the patterns of the windows on the outside. And then the ascension, the coming up the stairs is more than just getting in an elevator or going up a back stair, but making that a moment to remember coming up from one level to the next. I'll close with 3 quick projects in our nation's capital. The Tenley Friendship Library, 22,000 square feet, and when you look at the grid, the L'Enfant plan, and the diagonals and the rectilinear intersections, it all converged on our site, creating a footprint that was irregular. It's not a right angle in the building. And so on the interior, we look to keep a very clean ceiling, no devices, and also modulating the light through perforated fins. And then the skylight represents the transition from the public to the private. And even in that public space, there is a moment for reflection as we have an exhibit about the surrounding neighborhood. Exact same program in the diagonally opposite side of the city in southeast Washington, the Anacostia neighborhood. The challenge here was to take the identical program, but in a larger site, spread it out, and create a center where the community can feel pride and come in. It's a green roof, and it's a green roof. And bringing light down into the space, and we're not afraid to use color. And President Obama used this facility to launch his child literacy program a few months back, and we hope he remembers our museum, our library work as he moves forward with planning the one here in Chicago. I'll close with a few slides about the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Another collaboration with David Auger, Davis Brody Bond, and the Smith Group. 4 architects. That's a challenge, but it's working very well. The site couldn't be more prominent, literally in the heart of our nation's capital and the monumental core, with views to and from some of the most iconic pieces of architecture in our country. And so we derived this form from an African Yoruban structure called a caryatid, and it really is resembling a crown. And it's a shape you don't often see in Western architecture. And the porch element is a reference to the South and having a welcoming transition from landscape to interior, and the cooling breeze that comes off of the reflecting pond, and our very close neighbor, the Washington Monument. Half of the building, fully half, is below grade, so bringing light down into those spaces becomes essential. This is our contemplative court, where we have water and also natural light, where you come and reflect on what you've seen, gather yourself, and move forward. The corona itself, the pattern was taken from places like New Orleans and Charleston, and the intricate ironwork that we see there, and a modern interpretation of those patterns creates this variegated veil around the building, which not only mitigates light and controls heat gain, but also privileges certain views out. And you'll notice at the top, our 17.5-degree angle is exactly the same as the capstone of the Washington Monument, a subtle nod to our most important neighbor. The interior features this helical stair, a structural marvel, and very beautiful. And even as it's a dusty interior right now finishing up, you can begin to see the patterns of light created by the corona and the effect that it creates on the interior. And so thank you once again for this honor. I really am appreciative, and best of luck for a successful NeoCon conference. Thanks again.
Wonderful. All right, don't forget this. Take that.
Thank you again. Congratulations. Our next award, the Distinguished Leadership Award, honors a member whose commitment to advocating for and elevating the profession of interior design is demonstrated through extensive volunteer efforts and dedication to IIDA. Stacy Crumbaker's passion for design drives her to be a strong advocate for our industry. As a former Vice President of Advocacy and a past president of the IIDA Northern Pacific Chapter, Stacy has impacted interior design advocacy both regionally and nationally. She has been instrumental in raising the profile of our advocacy efforts, successfully implementing various initiatives, and informing advocacy best practices at IIDA HQ. Most recently, Stacy accepted a position on the IIDA Advocacy Advisory Council. Currently an interior designer at Malum Architects in Seattle, Stacy also serves on the board of directors for Design in Public, an initiative that works to foster an appreciation of the impact of design on urban life. She received a Bachelor of Science in Interior Design and Master of Architecture from Arizona State University. Stacy, will you join us on stage?
So glad you made it.
I know, like, literally. Okay, good afternoon. I'm going to apologize in advance if I get a little soapboxy, but Cheryl opened the door when she asked me to give a few remarks on my favorite topic, so bear with me. I'd like to start by thanking the International Board of Directors and the advocacy team at headquarters. I really appreciate being selected for this award. It's such an honor to be recognized for all of our work in the Northern Pacific Chapter. I'd also like to thank the Northern Pacific Chapter and the Western region. They've been putting up with me for the last few years and my incessant desire to do all the things right now. I wouldn't be here without their support and wisdom and their guidance. Through all of my advocacy efforts with IIDA, I've learned one thing, and that one thing is there is never a good time to be involved. There's always another client meeting, there's a submittal that's due, or there's another happy hour. And don't get me wrong, these things are important, especially happy hour and that whole clients thing that keeps us employed. But we need to recognize that changing our industry is important too. Today, right here, right now, this conversation is important, and we need to make time for it. Our industry is evolving, and we all have a voice in the conversation, whether you've been listening or not. Advocating for interior design can be enormously complex, yet it's shockingly simple. Yes, it's about legislation, but it's also about elevating the profession, and that impacts all of us. Whether you're writing about design, practicing as a designer, providing product knowledge to our community, whatever your role is, you're an advocate for interior design, and it's up to you to find the opportunities in your everyday practice to make time for the conversation. It starts with talking. It's a really easy first step. I promise we all have time for it. It's starting the conversation, whether it's with a team member on your team or whether it's the clerk at the grocery store. Tell them what you really do and why the industry is valuable. Stop watching. You won't accomplish anything by sitting on the sidelines watching other people succeed or fail. Put yourself out there. Help dispel the myths of our profession, individual by individual. Take action. Reach out to your local chapter leadership, many of whom are here today, to find out how you can be involved. And together, as a united front, we can shift the perception of our industry and make an impact on legislation efforts across the country, moving one step closer to legal recognition of the profession. Stop apologizing for what you're not, and be proud of what you are, whether that's an interior designer, a product rep, or an educator. We're all critically important to the success of our profession. Share that passion with your community. Start a movement. Find the deeply unique way in which you can impact your industry, and maybe through supporting your community's advocacy efforts to reshape the perception of interior design,
or it may be starting a blog to talk about your everyday practice. Whatever it is, you be you and tell everyone. Change our industry. Together, we'll leave a mark on the design community, shaping an industry we're all proud to be part of. Thank you, IIDA, for supporting my commitment to the profession.
Hashtag soapbox. That was awesome, Stacy. Thank you for inspiring all of us. Today, we also have the pleasure of bestowing an award that uniquely recognizes the tireless and invaluable efforts of interior design educators. The Educator of the Year Award, sponsored by Milliken, celebrates excellence in leadership by an interior design educator. I'm so pleased to announce that this year's honoree is Lisa Tucker, who is an associate professor and chair of the Interior Design Program at the Virginia Tech School of Architecture and Design. Let's see, Virginia Tech. Is that Go Hokies? All right. Lisa, would you please join us on stage? Do that middle thing. Go to the middle. Photo op. Perfection. It's all about the optics. Thanks. You can hang out here while I talk about you. Okay. Professor Tucker is at the forefront of incorporating sustainability, historic preservation, and biophilic design into interior design education, providing valuable expertise to students on these extremely timely and critical topics. Her desire to positively impact her students through practical and theoretical experiences illustrates her deep commitment to interior design education. Professor Tucker has been recognized nationally as one of the most admired design educators of 2010 by Design Intelligence, and she was nominated for the Robert Foster Cherry Teaching Award for Great Teaching in 2014. That kind of just says it, right? Great teaching. At Virginia Tech, she has been honored with the School of Architecture and Design's 2008 New Faculty Teaching Award, the College of Architecture and Urban Studies Teaching Award in 2008 and 2009, the College Certificate of Teaching Excellence in 2011, and the Alumni Teaching Award in 2013, which included induction into the university's Academy of Teaching Excellence. We are exceptionally proud to recognize Lisa Tucker as the 2016 Educator of the Year. This award comes with a very special prize in addition to the admiration of one's peers and obvious prestige of the award. I'd like to introduce Stacy Walker, the Director of Customer Experience for Milliken, to do the honors. Stacy?
Thank you, Cheryl and Scott. On behalf of Milliken, we are so proud to sponsor the Educator of the Year Award. As a corporation, our approach to innovation is driven by the purpose of doing good in the world, creating new experiences, and building for the future. We feel strongly that as educators and leaders in our industry, Professor Tucker and each of the Educator of the Year nominees embody those principles. Professor Tucker, Milliken is honored to present you with this cash award for $10,000. Yeah, right? I think I was supposed to hand you the check already. In recognition of your extraordinary efforts with students and the profession of design. On behalf of all of us at Milliken, congratulations and best wishes.
Well, we've all been to school here, so you know it's unusual for an educator not to know what to say. But I will say, when Cheryl called me, the first thing, I got an email saying something about they couldn't contact me because my phone number was wrong. So I immediately called and tried to straighten out the phone number situation and didn't actually know why I was being called. And so then Cheryl told me on the phone, and I was standing in a parking lot with traffic going on. And I actually, I've known Cheryl for several years, and I said to her finally, I'm speechless. I actually didn't even know what to say. I was caught off guard, and I remember she said, well, you'll have the opportunity to address 200 to 300 people for 2 to 3 minutes, and then she went on from there, and I absolutely don't remember any of the rest of what she said to me. So earlier this week, or I guess about the middle of last week, I got an email telling me to, if I wanted to, I could submit some comments for the teleprompter. And I thought, well, I don't even know how to use one of those. So I didn't do that. And then I remembered back to this conversation with Cheryl, and I thought, wow, I really probably should have written something down or anyway. But I want to say thank you to the IIDA International Board for this, and to Cheryl Durst, and most especially to Milliken for supporting interior design education. To follow up on what everybody here has said, what we're all about is making interior design and the profession be the best that it can be. And supporting education, in my mind, is really the place where that begins. I have the distinct honor of being able to work with enthusiastic, energetic, passionate students, every day of the year when school is in session, and I can tell you they will change interior design, and we just need to provide them with the opportunities to do that, the support to do that, and the best possible education to be able to do that, so that they can come into all of your firms and really make a difference in the world. And I can't think of a better way to spend my life than to do that, and to be acknowledged for doing something that is, so near and dear to my heart is really special, and I really appreciate it. And I thank all of you, and thank you for this award.
Thank you, Milliken, and congratulations, Lisa. And no worries. Often after 2 to 3 minutes, people forget what I say, so it's all good. My family does it to me all the time. Next, we're honored to present the IIDA Student of the Year Award, sponsored by OFS Brands. This award recognizes a student member whose insight, involvement, and leadership have significantly impacted their school's interior design program. I'm pleased to present to you our Student of the Year, Amy Hufford. Amy? Are you back there? Want to do the photo up? Let's do it. Sit up there. Amy is a recent graduate of the Interior Design program at Philadelphia University and is the president of the university's IIDA Campus Center. In this role, she has overseen the development of multiple programs that connect students to the interior design profession. She has been instrumental in organizing the IIDA Product Showcase, visits to area design firms, various fundraisers, and a new mentorship program. Since 2013, Amy has been selected to represent Philadelphia University's interior design program in multiple competitions, most recently placing second at the IIDA Design Bowl. Did that involve?
There was bowling.
Nice. Bowling. All right. Nothing says good design like bowling. Shoes. It's the shoes. Outside of school, she is an interior design intern at Meyer Design, Inc., and also works as an aide at Manor Care Health Services. Amy is an extraordinarily talented young designer whose passion, drive, and enthusiasm for the industry are clear in her schoolwork, her design portfolio, and her extracurricular activities. Her projects portray innovation and creative execution with an eye toward form, function, and usability. Moreover, Amy brings compassion to a profession that is ultimately about health and wellness of the people who inhabit the spaces that we create. Like the Educator of the Year award, this award also has a very respected patron, Doug Shapiro. It's not really Doug, but it's Doug. There you go.
OFS Brands is very honored to sponsor the IIDA Student of the Year Award. As a company, we are both invested in the future of design and design excellence, and Amy's talent is emblematic of both. Her academic success should be celebrated, so Amy, on behalf of OFS Brands, I'm pleased to present you with a check for $5,000. We definitely look forward to your future in design, and also we'd like to provide a complimentary Keystone membership to Philadelphia's Museum of Art. So Amy, congratulations.
Thank you. So instead of dedicating this award to all of my friends and family who already know that I love them so much, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I'd actually like to dedicate this award to all the people who didn't support me. And this is actually not going to be a speech about my haters, but I think it's kind of good to talk about sometimes the bad things that happen in your life because it kind of turns you into the person who you ultimately are. When I was younger, I was bullied viciously, often to the point of physical attacks, which is something a lot of people, I guess, wouldn't expect to come from me since I'm a somewhat put-together person. And I'm kind of happy-go-lucky. But I grew up in a poor Northeast Philly neighborhood where I came from a very low-income family. And education was very much on the back burner because kind of what was most important were drugs, illegal guns, and armed robberies. So instead of moving because we didn't have enough money, my parents did everything they possibly could to send me to a private school. Ever since I can remember, I was kind of ostracized by my peers because I was a little awkward, a little bit shy. Not to mention, I was a complete nerd. I definitely wasn't cute. I was a teacher's pet. I never got in trouble, and I would spend all my free time watching kids play from the window because I knew that I couldn't go outside and play with them. But I'm honestly not sad that it took me so long to make great friends in college and after college. Because honestly, I'm grateful for the lessons that those people taught me. They all taught me that it's more important to value yourself and your morals and what you stand for over what people are telling you to do. They also taught me who not to be, and that was to be a mean person. Because I feel like in our field it's so important to be compassionate and understanding and to really represent important demographics and not just, basic things that everyone can do. So for the people who insulted my family because we were so poor, and the people who spit in my face unprovoked, and the people who threw bottles at me when I walked home from school in a bad neighborhood, and to the teachers who pushed girls threatening me in the bathrooms off as kid stuff, I think that all of those things are really important because they taught me to get back up every time I was pushed down and I fell. And I think that that's something that we all learn to do throughout our lives. And honestly, it doesn't make me hate them and I'm not a sad person because I pushed myself really hard despite friendships to get a high score in my SATs and to start college early. And I recently graduated magna cum laude from Philadelphia University, and they made all my dreams come true. I think that all of this has made me an overwhelmingly compassionate and hardworking person, two traits that we know are extremely important in the field of interior design. They also taught me the power of sensitivity and kindness, and that things don't come easily to everybody. And I want to thank IIDA and OFS Brands for this honor, because IIDA has made my wildest dreams come true, especially throughout my college education, because they provided the support and friendship I always wanted. Thank you.
That was amazing. Girl. Amy, I think I speak for everyone. We are enchanted by your resilience. That was amazing. Thank you. Whew. Right? Hashtag Kleenex. All right. Whew. The world is a better place because of people like Amy. It's just true. And now, it is indeed an honor to recognize an individual who characterizes commitment to professionalism and the practice of design, and who has visibly demonstrated through service to IIDA a passionate dedication to this association, to her chapter, and to the mission of advancing the profession and advocating for excellence. It is indeed my pleasure to present Katie Hauser with the 2016 Member of the Year Award. Katie. Baby.
Hi.
There you go. Photo up with Scott. Yeah. Katie's commitment to IIDA and the interior design profession began as an interior design student at Kent State University, where she served as vice president of the university's IIDA Campus Center. Dr. Pamela Evans is over there like losing her mind. After graduating, Katie continued her involvement with IIDA, eventually becoming treasurer of the Ohio-Kentucky chapter, the most hated position on any board ever. And I think Katie was treasurer for like 6 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
As treasurer, Katie helped to spearhead the development of the Ohio-Kentucky Partnership Program, a word we're having some thought about. CLC will know what I mean by that comment, which raises more than $50,000 a year and funds various chapter and city center programming, including the annual chapter conference and the chapter advocacy tour. From 2014 through 2015, Katie finally served as president of the Ohio-Kentucky chapter, presiding over the day-to-day business of the chapter while also focusing on the future. She established the chapter's visioning committee, which is charged with managing long-term strategic planning initiatives, establishing yearly chapter goals, and providing a roadmap for obtaining those goals. Katie, who is currently an account executive at Interface, actively volunteers for other organizations, including the Akron-Canton Regional Food Bank and Akron's Zero Landfill Program. She also serves as a mentor through AIA Cleveland's mentorship program and remains actively involved with Kent State University's interior design program. Katie is a natural leader who embodies professionalism, passion, and enthusiasm for the interior design profession. As a dedicated and tireless volunteer, she has been a driving force behind the success of our Ohio-Kentucky chapter. The Member of the Year Award is sponsored by Contract Magazine, and I'd like to invite my friend, John Rouse, publisher of Contract Magazine, and the recipient of our first Legend Award. He told me to say that. To join me at the podium. Legend. legendary something. Yeah, whatever.
Thank you. I know, my voice is so hoarse I can't hardly get anything out. But first of all, Amy, I hope I can speak half as good as you in 10 years from now, believe me. That was amazing. I also wanted to say a few words about Cheryl Durst. I've known Cheryl for 18 years. Everybody in this room is very damn fortunate to have her as your leader. And she's an amazing friend and an amazing leader, and I think she deserves a little applause. I also wanted to get a little plug in for my friend Phil Freelon, because Phil Freelon, you forgot one adjective about Phil Freelon, and he is swarthy. You know that? Phil is one of the swarthiest guys you'll ever meet.
That's an inside joke.
Maybe next to Julio Braga. But, and he also was, the slight plug is he was Designer of the Year for 2008. So 8 years ago, we were a little ahead of the curve, or maybe. Contract Magazine is dedicated to elevating the relevance and value of commercial design, and we are proud to support the IIDA Member of the Year Award. Recognizing and investing in driven, passionate, and talented professionals like Katie is what propels our industry forward. On behalf of Contract Magazine, I'd like to present you with a check for $7,500 and our sincerest congratulations.
Okay, so opposed to popular belief by my board members, I'm wildly uncomfortable with being up here and having to talk, but I'm very honored, so thank you very, very much. And thank you to the International Board for the selection of the award and just the continued support and mentorship that you show all of us members. So, as you know, I think IIDA is a bit of a funny thing. If you swim deep in the IIDA pool, then I suspect you will understand and identify with some of the following. You've probably used IIDA as a catch-all for any even quasi-related industry event when you were explaining to your spouse why you will not be home again this evening. It does happen, often. You've probably worn IIDA as a badge of honor, and you've probably worn it on many shades of different black that you're wearing that day. And it's also probably been taken in vain and used as a swear word at times. IIDA, again, okay. So, but one of the most amazing things I think about IIDA is that it really provides for amazing growth, and if you really, hop on board and see where the ride will take you, it can be a really amazing one. I have seen the development of leadership skills, and not only myself, but my peers that I've served on the boards with. I've seen a sense of community deepen over the years and a true sense of camaraderie, almost a no man left behind kind of thought process when we're trying to get through event planning. And it's really great because we really are a family. And I think if you're doing this right, if you approach this organization in the right way, that's what this really becomes to you. A community of believers, a community of doers, and a community of amazing professionals that are eventually your friends. The Ohio-Kentucky chapter, and God love all of you here today for dealing with me as your forever treasurer, has been such an amazing team of people to work with and has really encouraged me to take a deeper dive into the facets of the organization that I have found most compelling, which I guess is financials. That will forever be my memory. But also good design, continued learning, and advocacy, because we all are truly advocates for our profession. And it is 100% because of those amazing individuals who have been teachers, mentors, sounding boards, and again, really great friends that I stand before you today. Our group has grown so much in even just the time that I have been on board. I am excited to help keep the momentum moving forward. So in closing, I think IIDA, man, it has a lot of I's in it. But really, there is no I, as cheesy as that sounds. Everything that has been accomplished is because of the team effort. And I am so excited to bring this Member of the Year award to our fair Ohio-Kentucky chapter and share it with all my friends. So thank you very much. And I would be remiss being from the Cleveland area if I did not say, go Cavs. We are accepting all prayers for a championship. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie, and congratulations again. Now, I would like to call to the podium the chair of the College of Fellows, Jim Williamson.
Hello, everyone. So I get to have the most fun today because of what I get to do today. Election to the IIDA College of Fellows is conducted annually to provide a means of honoring the outstanding contributions and accomplishments within the interior design profession, the community, and the association by an IIDA professional member. IIDA Fellowship is the most prestigious honor that can be bestowed upon an individual design professional. I am proud today to have the honor of introducing to you 4 newest members of the College of Fellows. Will Gina Berndt, Scott Herlinger, Nancy Keating, and Primo Orpilla please join us on stage? Although you recognize them all and have some familiarity with their accomplishments, we'd like to give you a little bit about their formal backgrounds. For more than 30 years, Gina Berndt has been a leader in the interior design industry. From her role as a managing principal of the Environments Group to her current influence as managing director of the Perkins & Will Chicago office, her insight and instincts have cultivated exceptional interdisciplinary design teams that have been recognized with numerous awards and loyal repeat clients. Under Gina's leadership, Perkins & Will has been recognized by Interior Design Magazine as the 2016 Most Admired Firm, on Architectural Record's 2015 list of top architectural firms, and as AIA Chicago's 2016 Firm of the Year. Gina also was named Chicago Business Journal Woman of Influence in 2015 and was recognized as a leadership honoree in 2011 by the IIDA Illinois chapter. May I present to you Gina Berndt, FIIDA. Next, as the design director and co-managing principal of Nelson's Minneapolis office, Scott Herlinger is an expert in corporate design with 21 years of experience. Scott's strong interior design background allows him to provide creative and integrated project services to high-profile, regional, and national interior design projects. He is responsible for all aspects of the design process, including, these will sound familiar, programming, space planning, design development, construction documents, and project management. Within Nelson, Scott co-chairs the Nelson Design Consortium and is the Minneapolis lead of the Nelson Legal Practice Team. Scott, who currently serves, thank you, as president of the IIDA International Board of Directors for a few more minutes, remains active within the association, working on numerous initiatives on both the local and national levels. May I present to you Scott Herlinger, FIIDA. This running back and forth, I'm getting out of breath. As a partner of Los Angeles-based Felderman Keating and Associates, Nancy Keating with an E, counts among her clients many of the best-known names in the entertainment industry, including Legendary Entertainment, Creative Artists Agency, 19 Entertainment, Core Media Group, The Walt Disney Company, MTV Networks, Universal Music Group, and BMG Music Publishing, amongst many others. With a career spanning 3 decades and a catalog of design honors, Nancy's work has been featured in the Museum of Modern Art. Most recently, Contract Magazine named her, along with her partner Stanley Felderman, an Interiors 2016 Design Legend. FKA has been featured in numerous industry publications, as well as the New York Times, the Los Angeles Times, Newsweek, the Wall Street Journal, and People magazine. The firm was also awarded Best Office of the Year 2011 by Contract Magazine. I'm pleased to present Nancy Keating, FIIDA. And last but not least, yeah, you're starting to learn the pattern, right? Primo Orpilla, along with his longtime partner Verda Alexander, is the president and co-founder of Studio O&A, the San Francisco-based firm responsible for designing groundbreaking offices for clients ranging from AOL and Facebook to Levi Strauss and MTV, amongst many others. As a leader in the field of workplace environments, Studio O&A's process emphasizes democratic design and translates clients' individual narrative into design terms. Primo's work has been recognized by more than 25 design competitions and has been featured in numerous industry publications. In 2015, Primo, along with Verda, was inducted into Interior Design Magazine's Hall of Fame. Most recently, Studio O&A was honored with the 2016 Cooper Hewitt Design Award. You've heard Cooper Hewitt a few times today. Primo is also an active IIDA member, and thank you, will be joining the International Board of Directors today as president-elect. May I present to you Primo Orpilla, FIIDA. IIDA is honored to welcome these 4 outstanding design leaders into the College of Fellows. They each bring a unique design perspective as well as a wide range of experience. My sincere congratulations to each of you. And now you may return to your seats. Please, let's congratulate.
Thank you, Jim. Congratulations to the fellows. And I hope that everyone will be able to stay and toast Primo, Nancy, Scott, and Gina, and all of our IIDA fellows and honorees at the VIP reception, hosted by Vitra, immediately following the annual meeting. And I promise you, we are almost there. 2 last pieces of business. Now I'd like to introduce the chair of the IIDA Foundation, Felice Silverman, known as Felice to many of us. It's all yours. All right, make it quick.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll talk fast. The IIDA Foundation is a not-for-profit 501c3 philanthropic organization whose primary mission is to advance interior design through education, research, and knowledge, and to benefit IIDA and the interior design profession. The Foundation and its Board of Trustees work in collaboration with the International Board to support the strategic plan of the association. I want to thank the Foundation's Board of Trustees for their ongoing dedication and efforts during this past year, and send my appreciation to Katie Cavallo, Cynthia Harrison, and Jim Williamson, whose terms have ended. I am pleased to announce that Edwin Beltran and Scott Herlinger will represent the association on the Board of Trustees, along with Keisha Erdman from the Texas Oklahoma chapter and Adam Stover from the Indiana chapter, who will join David Friedland as trustees. I'm also very happy to announce that Carmen Preston from the Alabama chapter will serve as the chair of the foundation for the next year. Would the trustees who are present please stand and be recognized? The Foundation had an active year promoting our existing programs. We are pleased to announce funding for a signature initiative that connects the practice of interior design to tangible value. The IIDA Foundation, together with industry member Tarkett, will provide funding for Volume 3 of What Clients Want Retail. This 3rd volume in our successful book series will contain interviews and conversations between clients and their designers, discussing their innovative projects and the importance of the collaborative process. What Clients Want Volume 3 will be available to IIDA membership in November. 2015 was the Foundation's 13th annual Designing for the Future campaign. And once again, the IIDA chapters and members demonstrated their generous support. 15 chapters met or exceeded their goal this year, and the trustees would like to acknowledge and thank the following chapters. Thank you very much. A very popular program with IIDA members is the NCIDQ Tuition Reimbursement Fund, which provides associate members with an opportunity for reimbursement upon passing the NCIDQ exam. In total, 132 IIDA members from 27 chapters have been recipients of this fund. Additionally, the Sustainable Design Education Fund serves to advance the awareness and knowledge of sustainable design. 43 IIDA members from 19 chapters have received reimbursement upon passing the LEED accreditation exam. The Foundation is grateful to industry member Wilson Art for its support of advancing the professional development of our student members. The Wilson Art Essay Competition invites student members who participate in Student Mentoring Week to submit an essay describing their day-long experience of being mentored at an interior design firm. The winner of the 2016 Wilson Art Competition and recipient of a $1,000 cash award is Ashley Origema of Miami-Dade College in the IIDA South Florida chapter. I invite you to visit the IIDA website to read Ashley's essay. With the ongoing support and generosity of IIDA members, the IIDA Foundation will continue to provide tangible and original benefits to members. The trustees are grateful to everyone for their participation, and we encourage you to visit the Foundation's website for complete details and information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Felice. Thank you, trustees. And in case I forget to say this at the end of the meeting, because there will be more thank yous, if you are one of our esteemed recipients of an award, if someone has handed you a certificate, if someone has handed you cash, if someone has had you take an oath to be on this board, don't leave right away for the VIP reception. We want to have as many of you as possible for a photo opportunity. And I always forget to say that at the end of the meeting, so saying it now. And if you are a Chapter of the Year award winner, that includes you. And that's exactly where we are in the program right now. We're going to be acknowledging the outstanding work being done by IIDA chapters. Immediately preceding this annual meeting, individual chapter awards were presented at a special luncheon. Acknowledgement of those awards will be published in Design Matters and featured on the IIDA website. But we would definitely be remiss if we didn't acknowledge, celebrate, and recognize the chapters that received their awards this morning. This line is still in here from last year. I'll now do an interpretive dance to illustrate those chapters and their awards. My daughter is really embarrassed right now because mom and dance do not go in the same sentence, so no dance, but here is a slide with those winning chapters. So congratulations. So the two big awards that we hold for this very moment will be for Chapter of the Year, recognizing the large and small chapters. This year, Small Chapter of the Year is presented to the Mid-America chapter. I'm not sure if that was the Julie Sayers scream or the Megan Blackledge scream. It would have been holy shit if you'd heard me. Oh, well, we just heard you. According to the jury, the Mid-America chapter is passionate, dedicated, and blazing a trail for the profession. Their membership recruiting, their leadership, and their programming clearly responded to the needs of the chapter and their member base. And the emphasis on member engagement and fulfilling chapter goals was on full display throughout their submission, expressing the chapter's diligence and commitment to furthering the IIDA mission. Congratulations to the Mid-America chapter. All right, so I was about to present you with this IIDA pen because for some reason the chapter certificate is not on my table. So we'll remedy that, but you know what? You and I can just take a photo. Oh, it was really funny. Oh, thanks. Because I'm going to have to give it to the next chapter. They're going to get their commemorative pin because I don't know where the hell the certificates are. All right. Now we're about to present the large chapter of the year. Large chapter of the year is presented to the Southern California chapter. Here's what the jury had to say about the SoCal chapter. After an impressive year, Southern California is creating a legacy by focusing on leadership, advancement, empowerment, teamwork, and growth. Their chapter excels in leadership, advocacy, and strengthening the profession. And the chapter thoroughly demonstrated not only their positive growth, but also their influence on their local and regional areas. Members were continuously put first, with opportunities to spread and reach others with the IIDA mission. Congratulations to the Southern California chapter. Oh, yes. Now for the photos. And you too will receive this exclusive IIDA pen.
Is it felt tip?
It is not. Oh. It's gel.
I got the bag.
All right.
Wow.
Surprise? Yeah. All right. That was awesome. Congratulations to both chapters. Scott, come on back to the podium for some very important international board business. It's all you.
All right, we're going to get down to the really brass tacks of the whole thing. Yeah, how it's going to go down. I would now like to thank the 2015-2016 board. There they are. Thank you for the extraordinary service to the board and the association. And especially, I would like to thank Felice, and Jim, whose board service for the IIDA is ending with this term. Thank you for all of your incredible contributions and insight, just the knowledge you've given, the love, the caring, Jim, the comments. But now, something very serious. I would now like to administer the oath of office to all vice presidents and for the 2016-2017 board of directors. Will you please rise as I call your name? Otherwise, I assume you're out. Edwin Beltran, IIDA. Julio Braga, FIIDA. Gabrielle Bullock, IIDA. Susanna Covarrubias, IIDA. Jeff Fenwick, Industry, IIDA. James Kerrigan, IIDA. Doug Shapiro, Industry, IIDA. As newly elected vice presidents and officers of the International Interior Design Association, it shall be your responsibility to lead the association. The well-being and progress of IIDA will be affected by your actions. May the association's purpose, high professional standards, and dedication to excellence be the controlling force during your term in office. IIDA is dedicated to exploring new directions in design, expanding the influence of the designer, and supplementing the formal education of its members. Thus, it will be your responsibility to further these goals. Furthermore, you will be required to become familiar with all association bylaws, a lot of reading, and policies, and to serve faithfully in office until your successors have been duly elected. As vice presidents, you shall be responsible for the operations of the association. Your duties as elected officers, including assisting the president in every way possible as you could conduct association business. Throughout your work, you will be in a position to represent IIDA and greatly impact its professional image and credibility. Do you accept these responsibilities? Collectively, as new elected officers of the association, do you agree to maintain the integrity of the association's bylaws and policies, to execute the board's directives, and to do all within your power to promote the growth and continued success of the International Interior Design Association? Congratulations, you're in. Okay, Marlene and Primo, last chance. You can exit stage right or left or come over here. Come on up. All right. Primo, you're first. All right. Primo or Pia, as president-elect, you shall spend the year in preparation to assume the highest office of the association. You shall serve as the alternate presiding officer of the association. You will support the president in all of your actions and act as a special advisor on projects, programs, and all strategic and budgetary matters affecting the association. You will be highly visible, and your actions will greatly impact the image and credibility of the association. Do you accept these responsibilities?
I do.
Thank you, Primo. You may join the other board members. Marlene. Okay, Marlene Liriano. In electing you president, the association has conferred upon you great responsibility. You shall see that the bylaws of the association are enforced. You will preside at all meetings of the board of directors. And you shall see that all orders and resolutions of the board are carried out. As the most visible representative of the association within the industry, you shall keep the purposes and mandate of IIDA foremost. Do you accept these responsibilities?
I do, and that's how it's going down.
Good deal. Now, I am delighted and honored to present IIDA's new president, Marlene Liriano, to deliver her professional remarks. Marlene.
Seriously, this should be at the beginning of the meeting. Get ready, Primo. Thank you, Scott. Good afternoon, everyone. First, let me welcome all of you, our current IIDA members, the International Board of Directors, the College of Fellows attendees, my wonderful husband, and my IA Interior Architects colleagues who are here with me today, as well as my colleagues who are watching online, and those of you who may not yet be part of the IIDA family, but are supporters and friends, welcome. I would also like to take a moment to recognize all of the outstanding IIDA members we have honored today, the Member of the Year, Student of the Year, and Educator of the Year. The recipients of the Titan and Star Awards, our newest inductees to the College of Fellows, and the recipient of the Distinguished Leadership Award. You are all actively elevating the profession of interior design in the association, and we are so pleased to count you among our membership. Congratulations again. My career has been defined by having the courage to make bold choices, most of which have been made out of instinct and on my own, without anyone to guide me. This courage definitely came from my parents, and those choices have paved the way for me to be standing in front of you today. Before I was born, my parents made a bold choice, perhaps the boldest choice that a young couple in their 20s could make, to leave behind their families and everything they own in communist Cuba, immigrate to the United States without knowing the language, and raise 3 children. A simple task, huh? They raised me in a household full of love, respect, faith, hard work, and most of all, they always taught me that no one could define who we are except ourselves. and that anything is possible regardless of what we look like or where we came from. Without my parents' bold choice, none of this would be possible. So thank you, Mom and Dad. I know you are looking down from heaven right now. I adore you. They look like Gable and Lombard, don't they? And that one bold choice laid the foundation for many others. I'm sure many of you can relate. No one in my family was an interior designer. I didn't even know the profession existed. And actually, my career path could have gone very differently. Not a dentist like Scott. In fact, if it had been up to my uncle, I would have taken over his accounting practice. It would have been a safe choice, but after one summer internship filing tax law updates in huge binders, I was done. I knew it wasn't for me. I lost my uncle, who was like my second father, in February, but I know he is also looking down from heaven along with my parents, of course, having a Cuban colada. By 7th grade, before I even had the words to describe the interior design profession, I knew I was drawn to spaces, and I wanted to, in some way, affect people's experiences in those spaces. I somehow understood that architecture wasn't my path. I wanted to be an interior designer. As a teenager, I convinced one of my best friends to take a rendering class on the second floor of a strip shopping center, where I learned to sketch and render by hand, further solidifying my path. My friend became a computer programmer. She never forgave me for that crazy chapter in her life. As a young adult, I too was starting to make bold choices. I married my high school sweetheart. I was 19, he was 21, and we were babies. We purchased our first home, and we now had a mortgage to pay, but I knew I needed a degree. So while working full-time, I also attended design courses at night at Florida International University. Go Panthers! I didn't know it at the time, but out of financial necessity, I skipped the whole internship phase and gained an incredible amount of experience while still in college. My knowledge and experience level were way ahead of my classmates, and I never allowed those hard-ass visiting professors to make me cry during a design crit. I was too focused on my career and was not going to allow anyone to define that for me. Thank you, Mom. Beautiful, isn't she? Once I graduated, I made another bold choice. I left the architecture firm that I was working with and started my own practice with a partner who was a seasoned architect. 2 Latina women competing in a man's world in the late 80s in Miami. That experience gave me exposure to management, to the financial side of the business, and to leadership skills that I likely would have learned eventually at a large firm, but I had the opportunity to learn them young, and I had no choice but to learn them quickly. Eventually, I decided to continue my career at a global design firm, first as design principal and interior design director at Perkins & Will, and then as vice president and principal at HOK. And today, I am the managing director of the Miami office of IA Interior Architects, a firm that empowers women by having half of their 19 offices run by women managing directors. Thank you. Thank you, David, Tom, and David. All of these early experiences have given me the skills needed to keep taking steps forward in my career. I've had the opportunity to work on projects from corporate to higher education, healthcare to hospitality. I consider myself lucky to be a market generalist, but my favorite projects are the ones that make a meaningful impact on the lives of the people who move through them. But mostly, I've been privileged enough, lucky enough, and bold enough to follow through on a career that was also a calling, a field that made me happy, even as a young girl, and continues to be fulfilling every single day, which is why I'm honored to serve as your 2016-2017 IIDA International Board of Directors President. IIDA has been instrumental in my career and my connection to the profession. For years, I have looked to the association as an entity that truly represents commercial interior design. It also provides an international platform for those individuals that are willing to dedicate their time to pushing the profession forward, providing valuable research and insight to our clients, and allowing students to learn more about what we do. As president, I promise to continue the work that is forwarding the mission and vision of IIDA, and I hope to focus my efforts and energy on the following initiatives. First, I will continue the hard work of our former board presidents, both Scott and Julio, by furthering the global presence of IIDA. I feel our greatest growth as an organization and potential for increased sharing of knowledge and collaboration is with our colleagues in Latin America and Europe. As a Cuban American, I have a special affinity for expanding our efforts in Latin America, and I hope to continue to enhance the opportunities for participation in this area. Through our Best Interiors of Latin America and Caribbean competition, and through the expansion of local chapters like IIDA Guadalajara and Mexico City. Second, I want to focus on enriching the professional development opportunities we offer to students and young designers. I understand the power of these opportunities, from networking to internships to competitions. Nurturing students makes a huge difference in a young person's ability to enter the workforce. And most importantly, it helps them decide if a career in interior design is right for them. I hope to increase our presence with this population and ensure that interior design students and young professionals understand the value of IIDA membership. And finally, I will see to it that IIDA continues to provide a meaningful membership experience for every designer within our organization, and continues to raise its presence as a thought leader in the industry and an advocate for interior design as a profession. In several states, our members are on the ground fighting for commercial interior designers to have the opportunity to practice to the fullest of their abilities. IIDA is at the forefront of interior design advocacy, and it is my goal to continue to support and encourage these efforts. As president, I promise to you that I will continue to make the kinds of bold choices that pave my way to this podium. Choices that, with your help and support, will further our organization and allow us to commit to the advancements, initiatives, and education necessary to truly expand and elevate the interior design profession, and allow us to continue to positively impact the health and well-being of people's lives every day. Lastly, I would like to thank my two children, who are much taller than I am, Brianne and Brian, who fill my life with joy and who truly give me a purpose in life. And my husband of 32 years, who has been my greatest supporter and cheerleader. I could not have done this without him, so thank you, baby. We also share a really cool hobby that helps to relieve stress on the weekends. So thank you for your time. I hope to see many of you over the next few days during NeoCon. Enjoy your time here.
Stay here. Thank you so much, Marlene, for sharing your vision and a bit of who you are with us. I don't think we're going to cage fight, okay? I promise we won't cage fight.
We'll shop first.
We'll shop, yes. We have much to look forward to over the coming year, and we're all excited about working with the new board and chapter leaders as we plan for the future of design. Thanks so much to each of you. Now, the folks who are live streaming at home have had 3 bathroom breaks. You all are dedicated, and they're not going to get the great VIP reception that you're going to get. But thank you all for viewing at home. Thanks to the audience. And now, Marlene, for your very first order of business as president, would you please announce the 2017 annual meeting?
I am pleased to announce the 2017 IIDA Annual Meeting scheduled for Sunday, June 11th, 2017. I wish you all success in the coming year in your personal and professional endeavors. Now, won't you please join me and IIDA in celebrating today's honorees at our VIP reception, which begins right now. Thank you.